This factory makes chocolate in various forms and sells it to companies which manufacture chocolate products for retail sale. It also supplies chocolate components such as cocoa powder and cocoa butter. Most of the cocoa beans arriving here come from West Africa, which grows 70% of the world's crop. A conveyor belt moves them through a cleaning system, a series of sieves that screen out twigs, stones, and other debris. Next stop is a micronizer, a revolving drum that heats the cocoa beans to loosen their shells. Then they enter a shell-removing machine called a winnower. Inside, successive rakes drag the beans across screens, pulling off large pieces of shell. Then, a vacuum sucks away the remaining smaller pieces. Removing the shell exposes the inside of the cocoa bean, which is called the nib. The factory will roast the nibs to develop their flavor. 50+% of the nib is fat, which is cocoa butter. To make chocolate, they'll combine processed nibs, cocoa butter, and sugar, along with milk powder if they're making milk chocolate. First, the factory processes the nibs by grinding them. The heat and friction activate the cocoa butter, producing pure liquid chocolate called chocolate liquor. The factory extracts some of the cocoa butter to sell it separately as chocolate-making ingredient and to use for in-house chocolate production along with other ingredients in various proportions. The dark chocolate recipe, for example, calls for more chocolate liquor, sugar, and cocoa butter, but no milk powder. The recipe for unsweetened chocolate contains no sugar. The mixer blends the ingredients to the consistency of a very thick cake batter. The flavor is fine by this point, but the coarse texture needs to be smoothed out. So the chocolate moves to a refining machine, passing between a set of 5 rollers that reduce the particle size, so much so that within just minutes, the chocolate leaves the refiner as a fine, dry powder. But now, it needs to be reliquefied. So the next stop is a machine called a conch. The friction and heat once again activate the cocoa butter, returning the powder to a liquid state.
If it's alright, I wanna kick it with you all night, all night. Have a good time. Ain't gotta worry 'cause it's alright, it's alright. All night, all night, all night, baby. Don't be shy, don't be shy, don't be shy, baby.
Cocoa butter, enough to reduce the viscosity to the exact thickness they need. Just a bit, for example, if they're making chocolate chips, or much more if they're making a thin chocolate coating. For chocolate chips, the conch feeds a machine called a drop depositor. As the name implies, it deposits drops of chocolate onto a conveyor belt. The nozzle trays are interchangeable, so the machine can be set up to produce various sizes of chips, discs, or other shapes. The chocolate chips, still warm and soft, enter a cooling tunnel, traveling for about 5 minutes through several temperature zones, which vary between 30 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. By the time the chips exit the tunnel, they're hard. A conveyor belt then takes them through a metal detector, a standard food safety precaution. The factory also produces 10-pound bulk-format chocolate bars. A depositor fills bar-shaped plastic molds. The conveyor transfers them to an elevator system, which moves through a cold room for about 2 hours. This constant motion ensures optimal air circulation, helping the cooling process.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico? I'd say happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump day!
Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15.
Tons of awesome vehicles. Great deals for everyone. Thanks. Low APR financing. Woo! Here's your balloon. Shoulders. Water. I have the best team. Oh, here I come.
Right now, during the Toyota Time Sales Event, get 0% APR for 60 months on a new 2016 Toyota Prius. That's 0% APR.
Here you go. And here I go.
Toyota, let's go.
Tomato ketchup recipes vary only slightly, as consumers expect a certain familiar tomatoey taste. This U.S. company produces all-natural ketchup, made entirely of certified organic ingredients. Tomato paste, agave nectar, a natural sweetener, onion powder, spices, salt, and white vinegar. The tomato paste, not surprisingly, is the base ingredient. It arrives at the plant in huge bins, which have been vacuum packed to preserve freshness. After unsealing each bin, the factory's quality control technician scoops a sample for testing. This is to make sure that the thickness is just right. If the sample gets the okay, workers slide the bin under a powerful air-driven pump. Then they flip a switch, and the pump begins moving the tomato paste to a large holding tank, transferring nearly 310 pounds of this ketchup base in less than 10 minutes. At production time, an intricate system of piping transfers a specific amount of tomato paste from the holding tank into a cooking kettle. As the paste cooks, a mixer continuously revolves to keep it from sticking to the sides and to blend in the onion powder workers add next. This and the upcoming ingredients have been pre-measured to be in correct proportion to the batch size. The next ingredients are salt. Then, as a sugar replacement, nectar from the agave plant. They pour in an initial amount, mix a bit, then pump in the remainder. The last ingredient is white vinegar.
I wanna shoot, baby, shoot.
Ooh, how you doing, baby? No, not you. You, the bow-legged one. Yeah. What's your name? Damn, baby, that sounds sexy. Here I go.
On the packaging line, an alignment machine stands the plastic bottles upright as they make their way to the filling machine. The finished ketchup, meanwhile, is passing through an elaborate system of cooling pipes en route to the filler. And let the bottling begin. The machine fills 8 bottles at a time. The factory tests every batch of ketchup it produces to ensure the correct consistency in every bottle. The next machine, appropriately called the capper, places a plastic flip cap on each bottle. Then, with spinning circular belts, twists it on securely. The next machine cuts a decorative neckband made of plastic film and slips it over the cap. Then a quick blast of hot steam shrinks the band to a tight fit. The next machine presses on 2 adhesive labels, one on the front of the bottle, the other on the back. Then it's off to the packing and shipping area. A sealed bottle of ketchup stays fresh for at least a year because the vinegar in it acts as a natural preservative. Ketchup also has health benefits because it's chock full of tomatoes, which are high in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant believed to protect against many types of cancer.